Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. I'm Lisa Beth and today I will be showing you how you can do a simple or last minute dream snap for a decor challenge. This video is designed to help players who may not have a lot of furniture items to work with or need to do their dream snap in a pinch, but still want to submit a nice dream snap and maximize their moonstone potential. So I will create a dream snap using the challenge It Comes From Outer Space, while giving you some tips and tricks that may help you. Now, I have already submitted my dream snap for this challenge, so I won't actually be submitting this snap, but I will be making sure it meets the requirements to submit, and it will serve as an example dream snap. I will also time this process and let you know at the end how long it took me to create. With all that said, let's get started on this dream snap. So I'm outside of Scrooge's shop, and this is where I'm going to start my dream snap process. First, I want to take a look at the challenge real quick and make sure that I know what the tags are. First, let's go over the description. So the challenge is It Came From Outer Space, which is a decor challenge. Decorate your village and make sure it's out of this world for the sci-fi themed challenge. And the tags are futuristic and WALL-E for the mandatory ones. We're going to need at least 6 futuristic tags and 3 WALL-E tags. And then the suggested are Toy Story and Simple. We want to make sure we use all the mandatory tags we can and a couple suggested at least. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in Scrooge's shop and I will meet you inside there so we can take a look and see what items we have for this challenge. And now I'm in Scrooge's shop. As I mentioned before, I have done my dream snap for this week. I already have a lot of the required items as well as the suggested, but I want to take a look anyway and show you how I would filter for these items to check and see what I have. So I'm going to talk to Scrooge real quick and we're going to tell him we want to order some items. And I'm going to select furniture. I'm going to go to all and I'm going to select filters. First, I'm going to start with the WALL-E tag since that's one of the mandatory tags. And let's see what I have here. So I'm taking a look and I do have basically all the items here. Now, I'm going to try to avoid using DLC items, Star Path items, and Founder Pack items since not everybody has those. Premium items as well. So let me go ahead now. I have plenty of those. I think I'm going to take a look at the futuristic tag since that was the other mandatory tag. And we need at least 6 futuristic ones. So I'm going to make sure that I have those. And I have plenty of those as well. It looks like I'm just seeing if there's anything else I want to order. Let's see, the chairs could be good. And the bots could be good for this challenge for space. Table and the couch, things like that could work well since those are items that are available in Scrooge's shop. All right, now what I want to do now is I want to go back to the filters one more time, at least one more time, and I want to go back to the filters. This time I'm gonna search by the WALL-E and the futuristic filters. That way I can see if there's any items that qualify for both. So I do see here that the bots that I was talking about qualify for both. The chairs do, the table does. So we have several items here that are available in Scrooge's shop that do qualify for both. So that can be really helpful for meeting our tags. And I'm going to go back into the filters. I'm going to reset them. And now I'm just going to check Toy Story and Simple real quick since those are the suggested. I'll check Toy Story first. And again, I have pretty much all my Toy Story items that I have available. I have them in my inventory. The Galaxy table could work well. Also, these aliens are great. I might just order one more just in case, but we have plenty of those. And then I'm going to reset my filters and I'm going to go to Simple real quick and take a look at those. And I should have plenty of Simple. Simple is a very basic filter, so there should be a lot of items that I have already that qualify for that. You may or may not, depending where you are in the game. But let me just take a look here. So I see that the Moana items qualify for the suggested tags for Simple. So these might work really well, items like these Moana ones. So I think those will be good. I'm just going to take a look at the Moana ones. Even though Moana is not a required tag, it looks like the Simple tags do include some Moana items. So I'm actually just going to filter by Moana and Simple real quick, just out of curiosity to see what items work. So it looks like a lot of the glowy items work, which could work really good for space, like the ferns and the corkscrews, the palm trees, and even the stones. So we could always use some of those. So What I'm going to do now is I'm going to find an empty space in my valley. If you're creating a DreamSnap from scratch and you're trying to do it in a time pinch, try to find a spot that's empty so you don't have to move a lot of stuff around. So I'm going to use my sunlit plateau. So I'm going to head over there and I'll see you in a moment. So I'm here in the sunlit plateau, and one thing I wanted to mention real quick is that if you're doing this DreamSnap and you're short on time, one thing that could be helpful is to put a well right outside of your DreamSnap area off to the side where you can't see it. So that way, if you need to go back to Scrooge's shop and order something, or you need to go into your house and maybe get some sort of item that you need to drop in your DreamSnap, you have quick access to the wells to make things a little bit faster. So I'm just looking around. I want to figure out what area I want to do in the sunlit plateau here. I also forgot that I have Wally's house over here, and this could work really well for space theme. It's kind of like one of those rovers that they drive around in space, so maybe we will use that as part of our background. That will also take up a lot of space on our background, so we don't have to do as much with items. So I think I want to do something around here. I think this is probably a good spot, but I want to first check my lighting. I always check my lighting first because I think lighting can make or break a DreamSnap. If it's too dark, it's really hard to see, and you also want it to kind of fit the theme. So something at night, maybe when the moon is rising, might be good. That might be a little bit dark, but it's hard to say. Usually what I'll do is I will test a couple items first. So let me go ahead and I'm going to move it back that hour, and I am going to go ahead and I'm thinking about using some of those Moana items. So I'm going to just pop down one or two of those just to see how that would look, to make sure that they light up during this time. Okay, so these do light up during this time, so this might be a good time frame to do it. I don't want to go any later because then the DreamSnap is going to be too dark. So if I were to, for example, go an hour later, well, an hour later is not too bad, but if we were to go 2 hours later, you're going to see that now it's way too dark. So we're going to do it during a time where the moon is basically rising. So this time frame is really great. So we have the sun setting, but we have the items glowing. All right, now what I want to do is I want to make sure that my area is kind of cleaned up. It looks like I don't have a ton in this area. I think I was working in this area earlier on something, so I don't have a ton to move, but I'm going to move this orb. And when you're thinking of your lighting too, you also want to think about direction that you're facing. So if, oh, I got a new memory. If we were facing the other way, for example, the sun is no longer on us. And as you can see, my character is darker and the foreground is darker. So we want to make sure that we're facing the sun as often as you can in a DreamSnap. Try to face the sun. Unless maybe you're doing a sunset in the background, but with that, you have to be really careful as well because that can get dark in the foreground. So what I want to do first is I'm going to move up a little bit. I think I want to just make sure I have plenty of space behind me because we're going to hide some items later. So what I want to do is I want to work on my background first. You want to always think about your background, your middle ground, and your foreground. And this is really relevant even if you are doing a simple DreamSnap because it's going to help you fill the space quickly and make your DreamSnap feel like it's filled out without being overcrowded or having a lot of items. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some items here. Now I'm going to grab Wally's house first. I think this could look really good. And let me just move these over here. And I don't really have a specific placement for any of these that I want to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start grabbing items that I want my background. And one of the things you can do if you don't have a lot of items is you could use things that are already in the game that most people have unlocked as long as you've unlocked all the biomes, which is things like trees, bushes, pathing, because pathing is craftable. So I'm going to add, I think that these frozen trees could look good with the palm trees. So I'm going to add a bunch of these around and kind of fill out the background. And we want to kind of block the back too. because we want to be able to hide some items later. And as you can see, I'm just plopping some trees down. They don't have to be specific because we could always move them around if we want to. But I think that should be good for now. We might have to move this orb actually, but I might just pull this in a little bit though. Maybe I could fit a tree here. I think that should be good. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get into some of my items. I'm going to grab some more of those palm trees. So I'm going to do our Moana filter because again, these palm trees count as a simple tag for the suggested tag. So those will help in our DreamSnap process. So, and you know, if you don't have a lot of items, using multiple of an item can work really, really well to your advantage. Let's see. Let's just stop and take a look at how this looks real quick. So this is looking pretty good. I got to move that tree in front of Wally's. I didn't realize I put that tree right in there, and I might move up some of the frozen trees a little bit, but I like how they're hanging over. I like Wally's truck. I might just move Wally's truck over to the left a little bit so it's not completely centered. Just gonna move some of these trees up. And you always want to, one thing that's gonna make things easier is rather than just put down all your items and then check the camera at the end, is to kind of check the camera as you go to see how everything looks. All right, so I think that looks better. Now, what I want to do is I've kind of focused on my background a little bit. If we move over even, we might be able to get the moon in the background, which could look really, really nice. So what I want to do now is I want to focus on my middle ground. So as I do that, I'm going to focus on my main items, and I'm going to go back to doing the mandatory tags now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select Wally, and I'm going to select futuristic because again, we want at least 6 futuristic and we want 3 Wally. So what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to select the Stewart bot. I think I want a little bot here. And, you know, I'm thinking we stepped out on a planet and maybe we're examining plant life. That's kind of what I did for my DreamSnap this week. So maybe we'll stick with that kind of theme. So maybe we'll set up a little table area where we're studying the plant life, and we could use 2 of these chairs, and that will work as well, I think. Let's see if there's anything else that we could use. I don't know if there's anything else here I want to use that qualifies as both. So let me reset my filters. I'm going to take a look at Wally and just see if there's any other items I want to use. I want to try to use limited items, as I said, because we are trying to do a very simple DreamSnap here. So I'm just going to grab a couple of these jar lamps. I think that could look good. And I think that's pretty much what I want to use as far as the Wally tags. Let me just check the futuristic ones as well. And if we don't meet our tags right away, that's okay, because sometimes there might be items that you don't really want to use in your DreamSnap that fit the tags that will help you get your tags, and I'm going to show you how you can fix that at the end. As long as you make sure that you have items that fit the tags in the beginning, you're going to be good. So I need to get futuristic again. Let me go ahead and take a look at that. I have the bot already, and don't know if there's anything else I want to use. I could maybe use the automated parasol, maybe that's blocking the elements out because the sun could be really strong depending on where they're at. So maybe we'll use the parasol. So far we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 items that we've used. And I might use some of these corkscrews as well. So that's 7 items total. And I think I'll grab some more of those corkscrews, since again, those are part of the suggested tags. Also too, let me take a look at Toy Story because those are suggested as well. So I am going to take a look. I want to use some of these aliens, and I'm going to take a couple of these aliens and we'll just place them randomly around, and they don't have to be exact because we can move them again. Let me go ahead and just grab those corkscrews. And I'm going to grab quite a few of these because I think these will look really nice. I think that should be good. I don't even think we need that many. So, but repeating items can really help you fill out a space. So I think that should probably be good. We could always make this space a little bit tighter too. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of place these around randomly. So that way we can always move them around as we need to once we check with the camera here. But I want to kind of just loosely place them where I might want them. All right, and then one other thing I want to do is, so right now it just looks like there's a bunch of random items placed down, and in order to kind of connect this space, I'm actually going to add a path. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this loose gravel path. To me, this looks like a path that could maybe represent another planet, you know, like sort of a crater effect. So I think this will work well. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to put this pathing down. You may need to craft pathing if you don't have it, but that usually doesn't take very long. If you don't have a lot of pathing, maybe just try to put some patches in, just use a little bit of it in order to kind of connect the spaces. You know, you could put a little pathing under the table and maybe a path up the middle to Wally's. But I'm going to go ahead, I'm just going to fill out this pathing and I'll check back with you in a second. All right, so as you can see, I've laid down a bunch of things. I do think I made this area a little bit too big maybe, so I'm gonna try to just scrunch down this area real quick. It'll only take a second. I'm just gonna remove a little pathing and move some trees in a little bit more. So let me go ahead and do that real quick. All right, so I've gone ahead and I've moved some things in. I think that's looking a little bit better. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna try to place my middle ground items a little bit better. As you can see, the table's right behind me. I'm gonna want to stand in the middle to make things easier. I'm also gonna take a look at how things look in the camera right now because I haven't done that yet. So I like this setup. If we can try to get the moon in the background. Hopefully it rises a little bit more, or we might be able to set it ahead a little bit. But as you can see, I have the table right behind me. I'm going to move that over to the left more, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start moving some items around real quick just to place them a little bit better. And I think what I'll do is to fill in the back just a little bit more, I'm going to use one of those free items we have, and I'm going to use some bushes. So let me go ahead and do that real quick. All right, so I've gone ahead and I've filled in the area a little bit more with some bushes. I think I'm going to put one more bush in back near Wally's house a little bit, and maybe move Wally's house over a little bit, or just move my character. Actually, maybe we'll just move my character over a little bit. And actually, if we stand there, we don't actually need to move the bush. I think that will look good there. Maybe just a bush back here to fill in that area a little bit. But, you know, I don't mind the Sunlit Plateau background so much because it looks like just rock formations in the back. And what I'm going to do next is I am going to work on my foreground. So in the foreground, you want to kind of place some items up front, so that way you have something that kind of creates distance for your background. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to work on the foreground a little bit. And I think I'll put a couple of the corkscrews up front because that will look really nice. Maybe we'll have a bush or two peeking in on the side. That could look good as well. And maybe even a palm tree hanging over. So let me go ahead and I'm going to work on that a little bit. I'm also going to move this spot over maybe to about here. And maybe we'll move the aliens up a little bit. So let me go ahead. I'm going to grab some of these corkscrews because I actually think I want to frame my character with that. So I'm going to go ahead and use one or two more of those. Maybe just one. And I think one more item I'll use is I'm just going to use one or two of these. And I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to grab more bushes. Again, these are really great items to be able to fill in space. And as you can see, my character's standing about here, so I want to have this stuff kind of peeking in. I don't want it to take up too much space though. So we may even have a tree kind of hanging over here. We'll see how that looks. So let's take a look and see what that looks like. So I might need to move up just a little bit, but I like how that looks. Let me see what I can do here to adjust that a little bit. We'll probably turn our camera this way a little bit more. So let me play around with this another second. I'm just going to move these over, and I'm going to move my character over a little bit as well. And it's okay that the tree is here. We could always move it. We just want to be able to have the tree kind of peeking in a little bit. So now the tree is a little too close. So we're going to need to move that a little bit. So I can't get the palm tree where it's at peeking in, but we do have these trees peeking in, which looks pretty nice. Let's just see. I just think maybe I shifted over to the right a little bit. So again, it just takes some playing around, and you don't have to play around too much. I'm just trying to get my foreground right here. Let's go back this way a little bit more. Let's try this. We'll move over again and see how this looks. And we can always tilt the camera too. So I kind of like this position here. I just need to move the bush over a little bit. I kind of like the palm tree peeking in here. I'm going to move the bush over from the left and the right. And then I'm just going to fill in the middle ground just a little bit more. So let me go ahead and do that. But as you can see, this is not taking me super long. I'm just kind of loosely playing with it. We don't need to play with it a whole lot. And I'm just gonna see where I could put these that they'll show up a little bit better. So I like how this foreground looks. I like the bushes peeking in. I like the corkscrews peeking in. I'm just gonna move a couple of these bushes out to the right here a little bit more, and I think that'll be pretty good. I think we have some good lighting on our character. I like the glowing palm trees. I think those look really nice. We have some plant life with the bushes and the corkscrews. Even the little ferns look good. So I think I'm just gonna play around with that just a little bit more. All right, so one more edit and then I think we're good. I'm just gonna move these aliens just up a little bit more because I want to have something here as well. So now, as you can see, the area looks pretty full. We have the table over there, we have the chairs and the lights, we have the corkscrews and the bushes around, we even have some trees. And as you can see, I haven't used a lot of items. Wally's house looks great there, and we have a good setup. It looks like we just stepped off on another planet and maybe we're studying plant life. Now, I do think it would be nice to have a plant on the table, but what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to grab just a plant from around one of the biomes and put it on top of the table so it looks like they're kind of studying the plant life. So let me do that real quick. All right, so I grabbed a hydrangea from the beach. I think that looks really nice because it goes with the blue on the trees as well as the palm trees. So I think that looks good. I like this setup. I think it looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to actually see how it looks if we do this 1 hour later to see if the lighting still looks good or if it's too dark. So let me check that real quick. So I was hoping the moon would be a little bit higher here, but it's not. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to move it back. If you wanted to, if you had the time, you could wait and see for the moon to rise over the hour. It just depends on how much time you have. But if you're in a pinch, you know, at least you'll get this little bit of moon peeking through. So it just depends on what time of day you're doing. But if you do this time of day, the moon does really help to add a little bit to the photo. So what I'm going to do now is, whether you do a decor challenge or an outfit challenge, I do think you should focus on both your outfit and your background. So I'm going to change to an outfit that's more suitable for a space theme. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do that real quick. Let me go ahead and change my outfit. Now I'm going to do something that's not a premium item and not a founder's pack item, anything like that. So I think what I'll do is maybe I'll do like a wetsuit that could look, or a futuristic jumpsuit that could look good. What else do we have? Blue wetsuit, green jumpsuit, blue work overalls. That could look cute. Okay, so I like that. I think that could look really cute. I think, yeah, it even has Wally in the back, so I think that's really cute. And I'm gonna just get some shoes on. Maybe we'll just do these high-tech shoes here. I think that looks good. I don't want to do anything too fancy. Let's see, bracelet. Let's see. I think I already had this on earlier from my DreamSnap, so I will leave these high-tech bracelets on. I like the earrings that we have on. Hats, I don't know if there's any hats that I want. The helmet, I think, is a Founders Pack item, so I'm not going to use that. But, because I want to be able to use items that a lot of people have. So I think I'm going to skip the hat. Since this isn't an outfit challenge, we don't need to worry about tags for the outfit. Let's take a look at glasses. Maybe I'll use these visors. I think that could look good for something futuristic. Maybe we're serving the new land with the visors. And I think the last thing would be hair. Let's do our hair. Maybe something sleek that looks a little bit more futuristic. One of these two, we could do something like that. I think I like the bangs though, they show up a little bit more. And then maybe we'll change the color to something blue or purplish. I think that could look really nice. Let's just see. Maybe something like this could look nice. Maybe blue and white to kind of match the outfit. Let's see how we like that. I think that could look good. I think that's a cute little outfit there. You always want to try to match your background, your outfit, just to make it more aesthetically pleasing. I think it's always a good idea to do. Now, the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check my tags. Now, you want to really check this, you know, pretty early on, but I didn't bother to check mine because we're trying to do this in a pinch. We're trying to do a simple DreamSnap and not use a lot of items. So what I did is I tried to use as many as I could. And as you can see, we're short. That's fine. Because what we're going to do real quick is we are going to hide some items now that we're done with creating the actual DreamSnap. So what I'm going to do is I am going to go into filters and I am going to go into Wally first. And I'm just going to start hiding items. Behind Wally's house is going to be a good spot. So as you can see, I'm just adding random items because these items wouldn't necessarily look good in a space theme. So I didn't really want to use them in my DreamSnap, but hiding them is great. So let's go ahead and do that. And I believe the bed was one that was futuristic and Wally. So we'll add some of those. And you can take a look again and see which one fit both tags though. But these are all items that are available in Scrooge's shop, so I am trying to focus on using those. Let's go ahead and let's do some ones for the futuristic tag. We'll do a couple more for the Toy Story tag, and then we'll do the simple tag. So for this, I am going to use, let's see, I already used the bed, I used this, I used this. I am going to, I don't think I did the banners, all the banners yet. So I'll do some more of the banners. I think this was a Twitch drop, so I'll add that. And you want to try to get as many tags as you can. Their tags are really important when you do your DreamSnaps because they do make up part of your score. Actually, I believe these are Star Path items, so I'm not going to use that. Tags are part of your score when you are ranking in DreamSnap, so the more items you can have, the better that fit the tags, because there may be a cutoff where tags start to not count, but we don't know what that cutoff is. So when you just add more items, when you hide more items like this, it really just maximizes your chances of doing better in the challenge. So I'm going to go ahead and I think that looks good. I'm going to check Toy Story real quick and then we'll do simple. I don't know if we need any more simple because we have the Moana, but I'm just going to grab a couple Toy Story ones here and I'm going to hide those. As you can see, I'm going pretty far back because we have Wally's house, so that's just blocking what we need. So I'm just going to do, about 5 items here because I think that'll be good. All right, and then let's go ahead and do simple. We already have a couple simple items with the Moana tags, but I'm going to go ahead and I am going to select a few simple ones as well. And I'm just gonna grab some generic chairs here. I'm gonna use ones that are kind of at the top. And then I'm just also gonna turn on the DreamSnap filter, see if there's any ones at the top that I didn't use that might be good. The DreamSnap filter kind of tells you what is going to be good as far as counting for tags, so I'm just going and I'm adding some of those. So I think that should be good because those are going to be mostly suggested tags, those last ones that I added. And I'm not really sure how many suggested tags you need, but I do try to put at least a couple suggested. So now I think the only thing we have left is really to take the picture and check our tags. We want to also figure out our pose. We have a Mickey cloud in the back, so if we could get a Mickey cloud, I think I want to do a side pose. So I'm going to go around and maybe we can get this Mickey cloud. Let's go ahead. I like her pose. I think this is good. Let's take the picture. We got a huge Mickey cloud in the back. I think that looks really cool. Let's go ahead and check we have our tags set. So we ended up with 13 futuristic tags and 20 Wally tags. I think that's pretty good. If you don't have a lot of items to work with, that's a really good amount. If you can try to go above and beyond that, you want to try to get as many tags as you can just to kind of maximize your potential as far as moonstones go. As I mentioned, tags are really important and do play a part. But if you don't have a lot to work with, that's totally understandable. Just do what you can and hopefully you can at least improve your chances of getting more moonstones. Because just by submitting the minimum tags, you are going to get 300 moonstones. But if you go at least a little bit above and beyond, you can try to increase it to maybe 900 or 1200. So I'm not going to submit this because I already submitted my DreamSnap for the week, but I am going to go ahead and I am going to save this and we'll take a look at the final picture, how it looks in picture form. So as you can see, I didn't use a ton of items. It looks like I used only about 9 items total. So we did this in under 10 items, plus the free items like the frozen trees and the bushes. And a lot of the makeup of this DreamSnap is the trees and the bushes. I think it looks like it took a lot of time, even though it really didn't. And to me, the best way to be able to do a DreamSnap, even if you're doing a simple one or you're short of time, is to pick a good location, focus on your lighting, and then focus on your background, your middle ground, and your foreground. We have the trees in the background as well as the bushes. And then in the foreground, we have the corkscrews that light up as well as the palm tree on the right and more bushes up front. And then in the middle ground, we have things like the aliens, the table, the bot, and some of the ferns. And those things, you just want to space out enough so that the area feels full but not overcrowded, especially if you don't have a lot of items. It's easy to make it look like there's a lot of empty space. So just try to move them in a way that there's not a ton of empty space and there's kind of always something for your eye to look at. Again, you could always use free items like trees, bushes, flowers, pathing, fences. So one thing we could have done as well is we could grab a character like Wally and have him next to us, or use a critter, maybe like a bird might fit for another planet. However, in this case, we had that huge Mickey cloud going by, so I opted to skip Wally and to go for the Mickey cloud, just because I felt like there was a little bit of empty space where I wanted the moon to be. So I felt like the big Mickey cloud filled out that spot. And I think it still looked good even without Wally in the picture. From the time I went into Scrooge's shop to when I took the photo, it only took me a little over 35 minutes in order to create this DreamSnap. I think it turned out really great for the amount of time spent on it. I hope this example DreamSnap was helpful in showing you how you can put together a simple or last minute DreamSnap. I wanted to demonstrate how you can quickly put together a photo that is both aesthetically pleasing to help you get votes, but doesn't require a lot of items or time. I also hope this helped you get ideas on how to work with tags when you are specifically limited on items. I'd like to give a big shout out to Teddy and thank them for suggesting I do a video like this. Let me know in the comments if you found this video helpful and if you'd like me to put together a separate video for an outfit challenge. I would really appreciate it if you would hit that like button and subscribe if you are not already. Also, if you'd like to stay up to date on current content that I release, be sure to turn on notifications and follow me on all my socials so you can be notified when I release a new video or go live. I hope you have a happy and wonderful day.